A very good evening, everyone. Myself, Ms. Indrakshi Bhattacharya from the Journal and Publications Department, ICMAI. Welcome everyone in today's webinar themed IFSC Emerging as a Dominant Gateway for India's Financial Sector. International Financial Services Center, primarily located in the GIFT City, is emerging as a dominant gateway for India's financial sector, facilitating global capital flows and providing a competitive environment for international financial services, banking, and insurance within a globally aligned regulatory framework. This growing role is supported by a favorable regulatory structure, attractive incentives, and robust infrastructure, which are helping onshoring offshore activities and creating a strong ecosystem for financial innovation and technology. Today, we are blessed with our resource person, Dr. Praveen Trivedi. He is the Executive Director, IFSCA Gandhinagar, and eminent speakers, Mr. Arjun Prasad, General Manager, IFSCA Gandhinagar, and Mr. Arun Kumar Singh, General Manager, IFSCA Gandhinagar, who will be deliberating on this pertinent issue. From the institute, we are just informing that our chairman, sir, CMA Harshatel Deshpande, sir, he can join, but if he doesn't join, he has sent his best wishes for this event. And I also welcome CMA Sucharita Chakraborty, madam. She is the HOD of our journal and publications and our journal team members. So we welcome all of you. So just before we start, we are playing the institute's anthem first, and then we will start our session.
असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मामृतं गमया मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मामृतं गमया असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मामृतं गमया ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
So now I would request Shemi Sucharita Chakraborty, madam, HOD of our Journal and Publications Department, ICMAI, to give her welcome address. Ma'am, please.
Namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this important webinar on IFSC, emerging as a dominant gateway for India's financial sector. On behalf of the Journal and Publications Committee, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, and all members joining us today. As many of you were aware, that our chairman Harshad Deshpande sir was scheduled to deliver the welcome address. However, due to being out of network coverage, he is unable to join us at this moment. In his absence, I have the honor of addressing you on behalf of the committee. We are currently in the midst of festive session. Just a few days ago, we have proudly celebrated our 79th Independence Day, a time to reflect on our nation's journey, resilience, and aspirations. And now we are joyfully celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi, a festival that not only brings communities together in devotion and celebration, but also holds historical significance, especially in Maharashtra, where it was revived during the Indian independence movement as a symbol of unity and cultural resurgence. It is in this festive spirit, blending tradition with progress, that we are organizing this webinar aimed at your professional enrichment and knowledge sharing. The theme for today's session, IFSC as a dominant gateway for India's financial sector, especially timely as India steadily positions itself as a global financial hub. International financial services centers like GIFT City are emerging as crucial pillars in the transformation. I offer a unique blend of globally accessibility and domestic expertise, making them powerful instruments for attracting international capital, fostering innovations, and streamlining cross-border financial operations. We are truly privileged to have with us Dr. Praveen Trivedi sir as our speaker. His vast expertise and perspective on financial system and regulatory dynamics will add immense value to this discussion. We are also honored by the presence of two accomplished professionals, Mr. Arjun Prasad, General Manager, and Mr. Arun Kumar Singh, General Manager of IFSCA. We we believe that such knowledge sharing sessions are vital for our ongoing professional development, especially as we adapt to rapid changes in the global financial landscape. Let us begin. Indrakshi, please.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now I had the privilege, immense privilege of introducing our speaker, Dr. Praveen Trivedi, sir. Profile to show. Yeah, this one, huh? Praveen Trivedi, sir, he has about 3 decades rich professional experience, wherein he has acted in various capacities, including as practicing advocate, teacher, legal advisor, regulator, supervisor, and administrator. He is a postgraduate in law and has also acquired postgraduate diploma in the management of financial resources. He joined Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, the Indian Securities Market Regulator, in 1996. During his tenure of more than 22 years at SEBI, he has handled a host of activities with regulation, supervision, investigation, inspection, litigations. Besides participating and heading various committees, he has also acted as regional manager of SEBI's Northern Regional Office at New Delhi. Besides being appointed as adjudication and inquiry officer in many cases, he rose to become chief general manager and was head of Enforcement Department before moving out of SEBI in June 2018. While in SEBI, he was also posted to Ministry of Finance, Government of India for about 3 years and helped it on legal and regulatory issues. In Ministry of Finance, he has also handled commodities, derivatives, and other departments, including matters related to financial sector legislative reforms commission. He has played a prominent role in drafting of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, the first of its kind consolidated legislation to deal with insolvency and bankruptcy in India. He was also awarded a PhD on insolvency and bankruptcy laws in 2023. Before joining IFSC in January 2021, he was the executive director at Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, the pension fund regulator in India since June 2018. We welcome you, sir. It's immense pleasure for us, sir, to have you with us. So I want to request Dr. Praveen Trivedi, Executive Director, IFSCA, Gandhinagar, to give us a please.
So thank you, Ms. Bhattacharya, for this detailed sort of introduction, and thank you, ICMAI, for inviting all of us from IFSCA. And before I start my submissions, I would also like to thank the ICMAI for coming out with that magazine. I think wherein this not only all the other topics were covered very extensively related to IFSCA, but also one of the articles which were written jointly by all of us present here, including Arjun and his team. So you can see only me or Arjun and Arun here, but let me tell you, our two more other colleagues also are present in this room, who are also helping us in achieving the objective of this, because this division is more concerned about this consumer complaints and redressal. So my colleagues Akash and Nikhil are also there along with us. So thank you ICMI again, and the chairman and the vice president and Mr. Deshpande also, and Madam Chakraborty also, for organizing this webinar and I could see, I think we have around 174 attendees as of now. So this gives us very confidence that IFSCA importance is being recognized and people are interested to understand and to listen about IFSCA because this is the new baby in the bathtub and everybody because now we are in the 5th year of our existence. We are 1st October we will be completing 5 years, and it has been a very interesting and challenging journey. But at the same time, we have got a lot of confidence and we have got a lot of satisfaction on the progress made during those 4.5 years. So, as far as IFSC is concerned, as all of because I understand that all these attendees, industry professionals, are students, so they have basic understanding about the financial ecosystem and landscape of India. So, as you all are aware, that in India, the four financial sector regulators, RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, and PFRDA, they were the regulators for their respective fields, and they were coming out with the rules and regulations to govern their respective fields. But when the concept of International Financial Services Center, which was firstly mooted in 2007 by Upper Semester Committee, and it was the thought process started that we should also have a IFSC so that the whatever business activities are going out of India by Indians, at least we should provide them that ecosystem and that facility which they are availing in Singapore or UK or other places. They should get here only in India. Why they should go out? One more story goes that when the Honorable Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of this state, Gujarat, once he was visiting Singapore and so he found that 80% of the people are from India or of Indian origin. So he asked the people that what you are doing here, and normally the answer was given to him is that in India a lot of they don't have that ease of doing business and they have to go in so many regulatory bodies and government bodies to get one license. So then he came back and he thought that being a chief minister only at that point of time, he started this GIFT IFSC, which stands for GIFT stands for Gujarat International Finance and Tech Center. So he wanted to focus on financial activities and technological, which has been it is very close to his heart. This technology, he is more aware than any of us about the technology, importance of technology, and he is promoting all the technological development in India. When he became the Prime Minister, so this in 2014, 15 only this IFSC got declared, and then RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, and PFRDA. Not PFRDA, only these three regulatory bodies came out with their guidelines to start and give the approval for their respective business in this area. Subsequently, it was realized that this will not work and they should have one regulatory body, wherein one stop shop, wherein single window sort of institution where anybody can go and take their approvals and registration. So this led to the birth of IFSCA in 2019. It was passed and in 2020 we started working. And this IFSCA is the 4-in-1 regulator given the power of RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, and PFRDA. And over and above that, it has been given the power to regulate other financial activities also to GIFT IFSC, which are otherwise not available within the domain of IRDAI or PFRDA or SEBI or RBI. IFSCA has come out with many other framework also, fintech, taxfin, aircraft leasing, ship leasing, ancillary services, VAT type of activities which have been notified as a financial services. Even universities have been notified. That courses offered by those universities are notified as a financial service. And then IFSCA is promoting and administering those activities also in GIFT IFSC. The whole idea was that, as I stated, that whatever was going out should be retained in India. And going forward, the idea is that not only that should be retained, but we should come out with, we should create an ecosystem here, wherein not only those people who are going out, but the people from outside also should be attracted to invest in India through GIFT IFSC, because India has the goal of being Viksit by 2047. Achieve that, we need a lot of capital which is not domestically available and which can't be made domestically available. So we need as India to become the Viksit Bharat, India needs that capital inflow into the India. So that is what Prime Minister has thought, and last time when he visited GIFT IFSC, he stated in his speech also that GIFT City should become the gateway for inbound and outbound funds of India, whether it is coming in India or going out of India, because, and we should create that much regulatory ecosystem where people are getting attracted and people, everybody, because India is going such a rapid pace that I think that India is fastest growing economy. Everybody knows that, irrespective of whatever is happening in the geological system as of now, including the tariff and whatever in European countries, slowdown is happening in Japan also, and the US also. Nowadays, it is seems to be going a little bit against India, but nobody can deny the fact that India is the fastest growing economy and will remain so in the near future. So, so a lot of opportunities are there, and people are also looking towards India for investing and maximizing their return. So for that, the whole job of IFSCA and government policies has been to create that system and create that atmosphere when people are getting affected. And so a lot of steps have been taken. About 35 regulations have been notified by IFSCA, covering all the whole spectrum of the financial services, and this is work in progress. So every, I think 2-3 months, we are coming out with either one framework or some regulation. Recent being that we have come out with the technology and financial services regulation that is called TAS. That is ancillary and Techfin and ancillary. So earlier that ancillary and fintech was the framework. Now we have converted to the regulations, and the idea is that whatever services are related to BFSI, those people can come and start some of their GCC also in this sector, so that not only the money should come into India, into this IFSC system, but we should all be able to generate enough employment also for India and Indian youth. And that unemployment also, let me emphasize that that is one of the reasons whereby this universities or courses offered by universities have been designated and notified as a financial products. So, and two Australian universities have already started their courses here. 2-3 more in the pipeline by the end of this financial year. I believe that we will have total 5 universities in GIFT IFSC, and they will be imparting their courses, certification, or diploma and degree courses, which will be equivalent to their parent, like banking university is there. So whatever degree they are giving, offering in Australia, degree given by them in GIFT IFSC shall be equivalent, should have the same value as if that degree has been issued by their main campus in decade, and that too at half of the total cost. So not only the tuition fees is less, but people are also, Indian students can also save in going abroad and staying there at the higher cost. So if you were investing, your parents were investing about 1 crore rupees for some particular degree, now I think they can get it done for their costs, same quality, same value of degree in half of the cost or less than. So this is also very good development. Other thing, I think the government has announced the setting up of a arbitration center also, international arbitration center in IFSC, and government is working on that. And I think within this financial, if not this financial year, within about within next 1 year, the international arbitration center shall also be set up here. And we are hoping that some carve-outs will be given vis-a-vis the Indian arbitration systems. And this arbitrations happening in this center will have some features of the international arbitrations which are happening in Singapore. And people will get attracted towards this arbitration center, because wherever the financial activities are there, the disputes are bound to happen. So the idea is to create and give them whole package. Anybody who is coming to this place, they should get the whole package at one place in one go. They should not be made to run here and there to resolve their disputes and settle their disputes, or even if they want to contest. So that arbitration center is also likely to start very soon from GIFT IFSC. So as far as the regulations are concerned, we have the best course would have been that we could have replicated Indian regulation, but we have consciously not done that. Though the base remains the same because the parent act remains the same. However, we have, while framing the regulation, consciously we have studied all the best international jurisdictions and whatever best practices we could adopt from those centers we have adopted in our regulations. While ensuring that there should be an ease of doing business and minimizing the compliance burden on the regulated entities. So I can very proudly say that if anybody, and I would rather urge the ICMI that they can encourage their students or some group of students to do a study about the same regulatory framework, whatever is available. I'm not here competing or criticizing anything because India has a different demand and their different ecosystem. Like for example, in SEBI, the main objective is the protection of interest of investors, and then development and then regulation of the securities market. Here, because we don't feel that the normal investor, which is called as a retail investor in India, anybody who invests, I think 2 lakhs as of now, is considered to be the retail investor. Here, those type of investor won't be coming. First of all, this is no Indian rupee business can happen. So any business which can happen here is in dollar or any other 15 currencies which have been notified. So all those HNIs are the people who understand, who are having the big risk appetite, and they are experts and they are professionals, whether they are individuals or they are professional bodies. They will only come and do the business here. So we have made our regulation that we are not giving much, though we are keeping back of the book that nobody should be allowed to misuse the system. That much we have ensured. But our focus has been to create a ease of doing business atmosphere and reducing the burden, compliance burden, so that people should choose what sort of business they want to do, and they should be allowed, they should be given the freedom also to explore other possibilities also and flourish their business. So that has been the thinking behind all the regulations, and this is again work in progress. So we have also created a cell within IFSC, which is ease of doing business cell. So we constantly keep on meeting the market participants and professional bodies and individuals also. And we are always ready to take the feedback constantly, and we keep on improving. And I think we were the first regulator, among the first regulator who came out with the regulation, how to make a regulation. So in that regulation itself, it was a mandatory provision for all of us, for IFSC also to review each of every regulation every 3 years. So we have done that. Every regulation which was notified in 21 or 22 either has been reviewed and we have come out with the new regulations or amended those regulations, or we are in the process of doing that. So we are very much conscious about this ease of doing business, and we want and we welcome everybody who wants to come in GIFT IFSC and want to contribute in the financial development of India. With this, I will start considering the time, and I will hand over to Arjun Prasad to take this forward. Thank you. I think he is making some presentations. So,
Thank you so much, Praveen sir, for such a detailed background of the theme. So just we would hand over now to our two speakers now, but just before that, we will like to introduce our two speakers.
yeah.
Arun Kumar Singh, he's the General Manager, IFSCA. Mr. Arun Kumar Singh is the General Manager at International Financial Services Center, Authority GIFT City, Gandhinagar. He is in charge of the Department of General Administration and the IFSC Academy. During his stint in the GAT, he has been involved in the policy making and implementation of HR policies, overseeing the IFSCA headquarter building project and the activities of the IFSC Academy. Prior to joining IFSCA, Mr. Singh has been working in the Central Secretariat of the Government of India and has experience of working in diverse ministries like the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and the National Financial Reporting Authority, where he has handled various portfolios, including HR, administration, training, scheme formulation and implementation, and other national level policy making. Sir is a graduate in science from the Calcutta University. We welcome Arun Kumar Singh, sir. Now I would have the privilege of introducing Arjun Prasad, sir. Sir Arjun Prasad, he's the General Manager IFSCA, GIFT City Gandhinagar. He is in charge of the division dealing with primary markets at IFSCA. During the last 4 years with IFSC, he has been involved in the policy making in several areas in the capital markets, including listing regulations and the capital market intermediaries regulations. Prior to joining IFSCA, Mr. Arjun Prasad has experience of over 12 years in capital markets with Securities and Exchange Board of India and has handled various portfolios, including investigations, international affairs, takeovers, buybacks, and delisting. He has done his MBA from the IIM Indore and BTech from IIT Madras. We welcome both our speakers. Now I would request our speakers to please start their presentation. So please.
Thank you, madam. So I'm having a presentation slide. So we'll
Yeah.
try to cover more details about city with IFSC and IFSC. So are these slides visible before I proceed? PPT slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay.
Sir.
So let me start with the concept of GIFT City, which sir already mentioned. GIFT City, which is Gujarat International Finance Tech City. So as we know, this is a smart city. And I thought I would like to mention there are two parts to GIFT City. One is the domestic side, domestic tariff area, which continues to be regulated by domestic regulators, that is SEBI, RBI, IRD, and PFRD. And there is a special economic zone. So IFSC is there in the special economic zone, which has been notified in 2015. So out of total of 886 acres, 2/3 of the area approximately, it is of the domestic side, and 1/3 is area is where we have the special economic zone and the IFSC within GIFT City. And we regulate the financial services in the IFSC, which is in the SEZ zone. And in fact, sir is the administrator under the IFSC Act also for all the approvals. So as I mentioned, there is a domestic side and there is a special economic zone. Again, there are two sides to SEZ. There may be entities which are export oriented or any services which are not financial services, which we don't regulate. And there are entities which are into the financial services, which are IFSC units. So we regulate those IFSC units. But within the SEZ in IFSC, most of the entities are IFSC entities are regulated by us. So a brief journey where we started. 2013 is prior to IFSC. In the domestic side, we had the first commercial building set up in GIFT City. And what I have been told, that was the tallest building during that point of time in Gujarat. And April was when the IFSC got notified, which I think sir mentioned already. So this I think sir has already covered. Our act was passed in 2019 and we became the unified regulator, and more than 35 regulations have been. So this is the mandate of IFSC. So we have the mandate to, as sir mentioned, SEBI has development, regulation, and investor protection, where more focus is on investor protection. If you see our mandate, which is there in IFSC Act, it is more on development and regulating and entire financial services, which means banking, capital market, securities market, insurance, pension fund. So financial institutions, financial services, financial products within the IFSCs in India. And we are very unique in terms of IFSC Act, where there is one section which provides us the powers of all the domestic regulators, which means there are 15 acts in the schedule. We can exercise any powers under these 15 acts for regulating financial services. So we are 16 in act combined into one IFSC Act. So this I think sir has covered in quite detail. Very briefly, I will mention here. Our objective is to onshore the financial services which are India related happening from other parts of the world. For example, Singapore, Mauritius, Cayman, BVI. They have huge investments coming into India, but the structures are formed there. So why not in GIFT City instead of going to these jurisdictions? In fact, the Gift Connect is one where we have onshore Nifty products which are traded in Singapore to Gift City. Viksit Bharat 2047, where we need foreign capital, sir has already mentioned. We want to become hub in certain areas like aircraft leasing, ship leasing, fintech. These are some of the indicative areas, but we can be having various other areas when it comes to international finance. Fourth one is very important. We also want to have a center where we provide high quality employment opportunities. There, TechFin which are more like IT companies. We can have BATF service providers, bookkeeping, accounting. We can have GIC, GCC framework here, so that we get the right people here working in Gift City. So these are some of the quotes made by Honorable Prime Minister, which Sir also mentioned, gateway for connecting India with global opportunities and a strong focus on cutting edge digital infrastructure. So I will go into more details. So this is from the legal point of view, it's very important to understand the structure and how the laws operate. So in the left side, if you see, it is more like a foreign country. The right side is the domestic side of India, and in center we have Gift City. So when it comes to FEMA, which is the Foreign Exchange Act, Management Act, here the entities are treated as a non-resident. Any entity, whether in the form of branch or subsidiary, their treatment is a non-resident, which means any capital flow from IFSC to any other part of the world, there are no restrictions at all. So RBI's norms are applicable as if we are in a foreign territory when it comes to FEMA. So whenever there is investment from IFSC to India, it will go through the FDI, FPI, FBCI route. But when there is any capital flow from IFSC to any other country, there are no controls. Currency, we are having 15 currencies other than INR. The most popular is US dollar, but there are many other currencies like euro, pounds, ruble, dirham, and many other which we recognize. And the list is provided in our banking regulations. Taxation, our Indian income tax applies with carve-outs. There is a separate slide on taxation. Other laws, which are other than the financial sector laws, that continue to apply. Even Companies Act applies here, and the companies set up here are treated as Indian companies under the Companies Act 2013. So this is a brief summary on what are the benefits which IFSC has compared to the other foreign jurisdictions. So here, as Sir also mentioned, that we are not competing at all with India. We are complementing India in getting more and more foreign capital. So our competition is with Singapore, Mauritius, Dubai, or other financial center. So the benefits which we have is we are having a unified regulator, globally benchmark regulations, there's a tax regime. And the main benefit which IFSC has with some of these other sectors is India is the fastest growing large economy in the world. And we have a vision where more and more foreign capital will come. And this is what makes GIFT IFSC unique compared to some of the other centers, which are already now, there's not much growth happening compared to the Indian story. And the cost of operation is very less compared to some of the other centers. And we have young population, we have very skilled talent pool with IITs, and some of them are very, very close to Gift City. So this is a overview of various areas which IFSC regulates. I will not go into details, but just to have an understanding, we have banks, we have capital markets, we have a very strong fund management ecosystem, we have insurance, we have many other niche sector, bullion exchange, treasury center, ITFS, aircraft leasing, ship leasing, foreign industries, tech fins, GCCs, ancillary payment service providers, and BATF service providers. So there are several regulations across different sectors. So I've highlighted some of them which are in the capital market side. Since I work in capital market side, so that I thought I will mention. From the securities market side, we are having listing regulations, fund management intermediaries, and market infrastructure institutions, which covers exchanges, clearing corporations, and depository. And as I mentioned, we review all our regulations every 3 years. So MI regulations got amended after the review. And the other 3 regulations, we completely replaced our old regulations with new regulations. To give an example, listing regulations was 2021, which we replaced after our review in 2024. And now the new regulations are benchmarked with US, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, some of the global jurisdictions when it comes to listing of equity and bond. Similarly, for fund management regulations and capital market intermediaries, it's a mix of various intermediaries they operate here. So these are some numbers. So I remember when I joined IFSC in 2020, October 1st was when we became the regulator here. The number was 159. If you see the number from 2015 till 2020, it was 100 odd entities. But now in the last 5 years, it is now close to 900. Very soon we'll cross 1,000 entities here. The exchange volume is very, very high because of the connect which is there with Singapore Exchange. And the monthly average crosses $100 billion on the derivatives side. Banking side, asset side has grown significantly. Fund, we are having more than 160 fund managers. Bond listing mostly by Indian entities listing their foreign currency bonds, $65 billion plus, and targeted corpus of the funds more than $50 billion, and they have already made investments of more than $10 billion. Investments have already been made. So this is just to have a look of the various sectors. So if you will cover, yeah. So if you just once in banking, I would like to stress, yeah. So if you see the banking slide, we are having 30 banks present here, more than 30, and out of which close to 15 banks are Indian banks, and more than 15 banks are foreign banks. If you see the names, there are American banks, there are banks based in Europe, banks from Singapore, banks from Japan, Australia, they are all present here. So in fact, there are 3 Japanese banks present here and operating in city. Funds, if you see, there are many foreign funds set up here. In fact, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, the sovereign fund, and they have set up here. And there are many sovereign funds that are investors in the funds schemes which are launched from GIFT City. Tax, I think this is very important because investors will come only if they get some benefits. So for the entities, there is a 10 years tax holiday on the business income. For the entities which are present here, there is no CTT, STT, GST or stamp duty for the products which are traded on the exchanges, most of the products. And this is for the, there is a capital gains tax exemption for the foreign investors who trade on the IFSC exchanges. Withholding tax is very important because this is one benefit which has attracted listing of several foreign currency bonds by Indian issuers. It is only 9% if an Indian company lists foreign currency bonds on IFSC exchanges. If it goes to any other foreign exchange, foreign jurisdiction, withholding tax can be 20%, 15%, or 10%, depending upon the agreement which India has with the respective countries. So if the investor is from, say, US, it will depend on the agreement between India and US. But it can range from 10 to 20%. So there is a very clear advantage of Indian companies listing their foreign currency bonds here, and almost all the Indian companies are now exclusively listing their bonds on the IFSC exchanges. And I think go fast with the time. So this I think we have already largely covered. So on the capital market side, we are having 2 stock exchanges, 2 clearing corporations, and 1 depository. So we are having subsidiary of BSC, which is Indian International Exchange. One is subsidiary of NSE International Exchange, and the 2 their clearing corporations. And in India, we have STL CDSL. Here, having only 1 depository, which is India International Depository, and this has been found by a parent, which it has again been set up by a consortium of 5 institutions: NSE, BSC, MCX, STL, and CDSL. So they have set up the Bullion Exchange as well and the depository as well. So products, we have Nifty futures, we have Sensex futures, that is index futures, we have currency futures, mostly gold futures, we have bonds, which I mentioned, more than $65 billion. We have gold futures on the commodity side, and we have DRs, and we are soon going to have the first IPO in IFSC, and the DRHP has already been filed, so we'll be having equity listing very, very soon, and that will open the gate for various equity listing on the IFSC. So in the interest of time, I will briefly cover. This is one area where the volumes shifted to Singapore Exchange. Most of the foreign investors, they trade Nifty futures on Singapore Exchange, and since it opens before India and the currency is US dollar, over a period of time, the volumes increase significantly. So based on an agreement between NSE International Exchange, and Singapore Exchange, the entire volume of this NIFT product, which is an Indian product, shifted from Singapore to NSE International Exchange. This is a great example of onshoring the offshore, and we have huge volumes on this product. In fact, the orders from Singapore comes on our exchange. The orders from our broker dealers come on our exchange. And in fact, they have allowed remote trading also. So the orders from various brokers across the world, they also come on our exchange. And the combined liquidity pool with huge volumes, these are traded on the IFSC exchange. So this is a very important announcement by Honorable Finance Minister. So government has, for the first time, permitted Indian companies to directly list equity shares on an international exchange outside of the domestic India, and that has been permitted only for IFSC. Prior to this, Indian companies were required to do domestic listing, and they could go only through the EDR and GDR route. So many companies listed EDRs in 1990s, but 2014 onwards, there has not been many DR after the new DR scheme. So government thought, let us allow equity listing. So this is something which is very important for Indian companies to raise foreign capital. And we have Indian companies listing, and the foreign companies can also list. Here, one question which keeps on coming is whether they need to have an office here. So there is no requirement of any office or any setup in GIFT City. They can be in a foreign jurisdiction. They can list equity shares and raise capital. Similarly, for Indian companies, they can list their shares and raise capital. When it comes to Indian companies, only foreign investors can participate. That is non-resident. When it comes to foreign companies, they can also have participation from Indian investors to the extent permitted by RBI. That is within LRS limit, mutual funds within the $7 billion limit. So within those limits, they can have, foreign companies can have both non-resident and resident investors. So there are various tax benefits. Our exchanges, they are open for more than 20 hours. One exchange is 22 hours. So it covers entire world, Japan to US, and trading in. So debt listing, we are having a very simple framework based on global best practices, because it's an institutional market where retail is not involved. So they can directly go to the exchanges and list bonds without much involvement in the regulator. The costs are very, very competitive, and because of the withholding tax benefit, they are listing here. Some numbers we can show. Credit rating is one area where Indian rating agency has taken a significant step. For the first time, an Indian rating agency, which is CareEdge Rating, they have started sovereign ratings, and they have done rating of 39 countries. They are competing with the big threes of the world, and they have also done a rating for India, which is BBB+, which is notches about the other rating agencies. And recently, S&P has also revised from BBB- to BBB. So this is one important area where we are seeing an Indian player taking the global role. These are those. So if you see here, all types of issuers, large issuers, small issuers, they are already raising foreign currency bonds, and there are several NBFCs, several banks, several other industry players already using IFSC platform. So we are having a framework for green bonds, social bonds, sustainable bonds, and SLPs. And out of $65 billion, $15 billion are ESG level bonds. So now we have recently introduced global access, where a broker can set up here, and they can also enable participation into the foreign exchanges directly. So it can be US exchange, European exchange, Singapore exchange, or many other exchanges. So it can be LRS money, where resident Indians can also trade on US stock. It can be non-resident, it can be IFSC entity. So we have also revised this framework for global access, and we are expecting this global access business to significantly here. It is more of an outbound product, but brokers who are doing prop and doing arbitrage across multiple markets, they are also setting up here. So I think we have largely covered in the initial slide, so I'm not going to. So now I hand over to Arunji to give a brief about IFSC Academy and its role for.
Thank you, Arjunji. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We had a wonderful session so far. It has largely dwelled on how the GIFT IFSC is emerging as a dominant gateway for India's financial sector. The emphasis so far has been on world-class regulation, ease of doing business, and state-of-the-art infrastructure that GIFT IFSC has to offer. But it has also left me wondering if buildings and rules alone made institutions great, then every city with skyscrapers and rules be a global financial hub. Sadly, they aren't. Which also brings to mind the 2008 financial crisis and many other crises that preceded and followed it. The world has been repeatedly reminded, often at a staggering cost, that regulations alone on paper mean nothing without competent people to interpret and enforce them. The truth, you would agree, is especially stark in finance. Every transaction, every innovation, every safeguard ultimately rests on the skill, judgment, and integrity of humans. For India, as GIFT IFSC is progressively making its mark on the global stage, the lesson seems clear. Without world-class human capital, ambition risks being reduced to aspiration. And GIFT IFSC, in my opinion, symbolizes India's one of the most ambitious financial initiatives. Established less than a decade ago, as Sir and Arjun also showed, it has moved rapidly from a vision to a dynamic and evolving reality. This diverse ecosystem demonstrates that the foundations are very strong, but you would also agree that infrastructure and regulatory clarity, while essential, are not enough to create a truly global financial center. So the long-term success depends on human capital. For perspective, we may look at the experience of leading financial sectors globally. Singapore became Asia's financial hub because it invested early in professional competence. True, Singapore's rise involved many other factors, but consistent institutionalized focus on regulator and practitioner training is a well-documented and material part of the success. Similarly, Dubai established the DIFSC Academy to provide regionally relevant executive education, professional programs, and certification type offerings in partnership with international universities and professional bodies. They are conducting continuing professional education for practitioners and the wider region, demonstrating an explicit institutional emphasis on structured professional learning. London sustained its preeminence for centuries through traditions of apprenticeship, training, and professional guilds. So in every case, people were not an afterthought. They were the core and infrastructure and markets grew around the nucleus of human capital. Next. So it is precisely to meet this requirement that the IFSC Academy was conceived. But the first priority is to strengthen capacity within IFSC itself. The Academy's true promise lies beyond the regulator. It is envisioned as the intellectual backbone to the IFSC ecosystem, building a continuous pipeline of world-class professionals. The Academy's mandate is to ensure that this competence is cultivated deliberately and aligned with the evolving demands of global finance. Though still nascent, the Academy's vision has already taken shape. Over the past 2 years, IFSC has signed a series of MOUs with prestigious universities and institutions. Simultaneously, as Sir had mentioned, GIFT IFSC's education ecosystem is expanding. 2 Australian universities, Deakin and Wollongong, have already launched postgraduate programs on site. And there are a few others in the pipeline which are expected to go live by 2026. These steps reinforce GIFT IFSC's emergence not as just as a financial hub, but also as an education center aligned to industry needs. The Academy's mandate is to build on this foundation, to institutionalize these collaborations, deepen ties with Indian and global partners, and ensure that every professional in GIFT IFSC has access to world-class training, certification, and research opportunities. The Academy is not a conventional classroom. Its pedagogy emphasizes practical competence, case-based learning, market event simulations, and applied problem solving. The aim is not to transmit knowledge, but to build operational readiness from day one. At the same time, the Academy seeks to cultivate a shared professional vocabulary across the IFSC ecosystem. Banking, capital markets, insurance, funds, and PATF services may each have their own technical dialects, but effective collaboration demands common ground. By instilling uniform standards in compliance, reporting, and risk management, the Academy emphasizes promoting interoperability, consistency, and efficiency across sectors. So in conclusion, the IFSC Academy represents a commitment to cultivate the one factor that ultimately determines success of any great endeavor: human talent. Its mission is to build it, nurture it, and continually renew it at scale. The aspiration is clear. If GIFT IFSC is the gateway, then the Academy must rise to be the key that unlocks it. Thank you.
So I think we can move on to Q&A if there are any questions.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. We have received questions. So shall I read the question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. How can a CMA student be engaged with the gift city if he or she wanted to get industrial training in the gift city to be better skilled for future endeavors?
So, Arun is also handling the HR issues, but I am also in charge of HR. So we have, as far as IFSC is concerned, we have an internship scheme, and it is the circular is available on our website also. And recently we have taken, I think, 4 people are internship also. So the people who are interested in working with IFSC also under that scheme are most welcome to apply under that scheme. Besides that, we are also collaborating with the universities which are already here and the institutions. So in November also we are going to conduct sort of program wherein all those respective or the people who are already, the entities which are already have established their offices in IFSC, they will be some Roshgar Mela sort of thing we will be organizing, wherein that all the people are the students, especially who are about to come out, they have just finished their degrees or they are looking for some new job in this sector, which are available here. They can come and they can join, they can explore the opportunities which are available in IFSC. Arun, you want to add anything?
No, so far as IFSC is concerned, it's only the internship.
Yeah.
With regard to the gift IFSC, it's left open to the REs. If they do open any opportunities, students are welcome to apply.
So for that only, IFSC is organizing in collaboration with other entities also in November sometimes. So I would urge the students or anybody who is interested in that, keep a watch on our website. So we will be posting that program also on the website. They can join in whatever way possible as per the requirement specified in those notifications. So that's the answer.
Okay, sir. Our next question: beyond tax, what regulatory or structural innovations must the IFSC implement to outperform established hubs like Singapore?
So you take this one.
Yeah, so in terms of this, if you see, one is what we mentioned is globally benchmark regulations. So if you see our fund management regulations, we have not tried to copy what is there in India, but we have made regulations which makes it more attractive for the fund managers to actually set up here. So how can we do it? One is the regulations, the other is reducing the cost, and what are the benefits which they will get by setting up here. So that is one area I'm coming as an example. And there are many other areas where we are doing much better from some of the other centers. So in terms of regulations, if you see the fund manager which are set up here, they can launch any type of scheme after taking our registration fund management entity. So they can have a retail scheme, they can have a non-retail scheme, they can have a PMS, they can have advisory, they can set up REITs, InvITs, ETFs. So we have given that kind of flexibility in our law so that it becomes much easier for the entities to set up fund in terms of the regulations which we have drafted. We are also working on the concept called variable capital company, and there have been 2 committees which have been set up, and we have the draft law in place. It has been announced by the Honorable Finance Minister to have VCC structure in GIFT City, and those amendments have been proposed in IFSC Act. Once we have those amendments, it will even make it more attractive for the fund managers to use these new innovative structures for doing fund management. So that is on the regulatory side, of the policy side. On the cost side, if you see the cost of operations here is much less compared to some of the markets, some of the other markets. I cannot name it, but some of the other jurisdictions, if you see, it is very less. The taxation benefit, which there is a 10 years tax holiday. There are other tax benefits when it comes to investments made by funds into India. So there is a very clear taxation framework around those structures which are set up here. So if you see all this combined, it makes it more easier for a firm which is having India related business to set up here, attracting foreign capital and investing into India. So as a result, if you see the funds which are instead of going to foreign jurisdictions, they're setting up here, and there are many funds, I think more than 10 funds, they have relocated existing funds from other jurisdictions to IFSC. So that is coming from the fund management example. The other area which I mentioned where not Singapore, but some of the jurisdiction, if you see, they have already reached where they wanted to reach. Whereas if you see IFSC journey, the India journey, we are now right now third largest, very soon third largest economy will become. We are now fourth largest economy, and we will become third largest economy. Our ambition is to reach become a Viksit Bharat by 2047. So right now, if you see our GDP, it is $4 trillion. But where do we want to go from $4 trillion to close to $30 trillion within 2047? So that kind of capital is required, and India is a very fast growing country. So anyways, we'll need foreign capital to come here, and GIFT City provides that platform for getting more and more capital into the India. That is the hinterland advantage which India has. There's one more element which I would like to particularly mention when it comes to India compared to other centers is the strength of our Indian diaspora. We are having 30 million Indian diaspora where we have NRIs, person of Indian origin, OCIs. So they are our strength. So they want to invest into India, and GIFT City provides them the opportunity which some of the other countries may not have. In fact, if you see the data also, India has the highest remittances across the world compared to any other jurisdictions from the Indian diaspora. So that strength we can leverage, some of the other centers may not have. So I think I will stop here, but there are many other benefits when we do a comparison on various other sectors. But with these thoughts, I'll pause here.
I'd just like to add on that. Actually, has dwelt largely on shoring of financial capital, but it is very important that onshoring of human capital also takes place. We have already gained a lot of expertise elsewhere, and we are actually running huge corporates outside, we Indians. Probably we need to bring back that expertise here and invest in GIFT City, so that the question was outperforming. So right now it's about reaching that level. To outperform, I sincerely believe that we need to bring back that homecoming of human capital, human talent.
Okay, so we have received many questions. Actually, we are running short of time, so we are taking it as a final question for today. Will the GIFT City be consolidated as a real estate asset class and have a listing in the stock exchanges like real estate investment trust?
So we are having a committee on REITs and InvITs. So we are waiting for the recommendations of this committee. There's an expert committee which has been constituted by IFSC. So once they give their recommendations, we need to do some policy changes, maybe some changes in the tax laws. Once we resolve these issues, we may have REITs and InvITs listing very soon. But as of now, if we are having listing of bonds, first IPO is going to happen very soon. So they are by the DRHP. We are having derivatives products, and there is something which work is going on by IFSC.
Okay,
So since you mentioned there are many questions, we'll be happy if anyone can reach out to us. Our email ID is on. So we'll be happy to address those queries. We can discuss offline so that we are anyways
So
always
kindly share your ID. We can post here if they want to share. They can mail you those questions. Just you can
On our
also
email
like
ID is on our website also, ifsca.gov.in. So in fact, we have
okay, so
all the email IDs of each and every officer is there on our website.
fine, sir. Fine, sir. Those they can participants and can easily interact with you with their questions.
Yes.
In their,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you so much, sirs, for such a wonderful and interactive session. So with this, we are closing this question answer session. And now I would request CMA Shucharita Chakraborty, madam. She is our HUD of our General Publications Department, ICMA, to give the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please. Ma'am? I think some technical issues have happened. Ma'am, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Please wait 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You are
madam.
visible.
Yes, madam.
Namaskar. Now we have to close our enriching webinar on IFSC, emerging as a dominant gateway for India's financial sector. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. First, I extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Praveen Trivedi, sir, Executive Director, IFSCA, for his thoughtful address. We are equally thankful to Mr. Arjun Prasad, General Manager, and Mr. Arun Kumar Singh, General Manager of IFSCA, for their presentations and valuable perspectives that added great depth to today's discussion. A special word of thanks to our Chairman, Harshad Deshpande, sir, for his support, guidance, and encouragement in making the event possible. We would like to extend our special thanks to Dr. Pradeep Ramakrishnan, Executive Director, IFSCA, and a heartfelt thanks to CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Council Member and Chairman, BFSI Board, ICMAI, for active involvement in making this initiative possible. To all our members, students, colleagues, and attendees, thank you for your engagement, presence, and thoughtful participation. Let me conclude with 3 beautiful lines from a Rabindranath Tagore songs that reflect the spirit of today's gathering: learning, connection, and shared purpose. এই লোভিনী সঙ্গ তব সুন্দর হে সুন্দর, এই তোমারি পরশ রাগে চিত্ত হলো রঞ্জিত, এই তোমারি মিলন সুধা রইল প্রাণে সঞ্চিত. Today I have been graced with your company, O beautiful one, O radiant one. Your divine touch has filled my heart with color. The nectar of this union remains deeply cherished in my soul. With this word, I thank you all once again. May we continue to work together towards a vibrant and globally connected financial future.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an inspiring vote of thanks as always. So with this, we are closing today's program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, sirs.
See you again. আবার দেখা হবে.
Yes. Yes.
কিছু একটা নিতে পারবি